Okay. So today we're going to be looking at dihybrids. Dihybrid Punnett squares are just like regular Punnett squares, but we're looking at 2 traits instead of 1 trait. So 2 letters instead of 1 letter. So the hard part is putting the parents. Okay, so in this case they give you the letters and they give you the parents. So a tall green plant, homozygous tall, heterozygous green, is crossed with a tall green plant, heterozygous tall, heterozygous green. We still need to make our key. So in this case, capital T would be dominant for tall, lowercase t would be recessive for short, capital G would be dominant for green, lowercase g would be recessive for white in this case. Is white. And to put the parents, all you have to do is you have to remember to be happy. So you make the happy face. Start with eyebrow. So that eyebrow means 1 big T and 1 big G goes over here. Then eyebrow. 1 big T, 1 small g goes here. Then nose. 1 big T, 1 big G. And then mouth. 1 big T, 1 little g. And those are your parents. For parent A. Parent B. Another way you can do this is the FOIL. So you start with this T can go here with this G, and this T can go here with this G. Okay, then you do the second letter. This T can go here with this G, big G, little t, and then this little T can go with the little T can go with the little G. So there's my parent. So you can do it the happy face way, or you can do it the outer, inner, inner, outer, or vice versa. Okay? Now you need to drop in your parents into the Punnett square. But when you drop in your parents, you want to keep the T's together and you want to keep the G's together, as you can see in the example. But you still put the big letter first. Okay, so you keep the T's together and the G's together, and then put the big letter first. So for example, this one would be big T, big G. Big G. This one would be big T, big G. We want to put the big G first and then little g. This one would be big T, big G. Big T, big G, big G, little g. Same here, big T, big G. We want to put the big G first, little g. Big T, little g, little g. Big T again, big G, little g. Big T, little g, little g. And then big T, little t. Big G, big T, little t. Big G, little g. Big T, little t. Big G, Then big T, little t. Big G, little g. Big T, little t. Big G, little g. Putting the big ones first. Big T, little g, little g. Big T, little t. Big G, little g. Big T, little t. Little g, little g. Alright, so I know it seems like a lot, but the more you do, the faster you go. And we do want to learn these because these are on the STAR test. They've always been tested every year. So if you can get this, you can get 2 to 3 questions for sure right. Okay, you just have to remember how to align your parents. And don't forget those vocabulary words: homozygous, heterozygous, dominant, recessive. So here they're asking for the ratio, as you can see. So in order to be tall, you need at least one big T. You can have two big T's, or you can have at least one big T. To be green, since green is dominant, notice we're using our key, you need at least one big G. Okay, so let's start with tall and green. This is tall and green, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So all of these had at least one big T and at least one big G. 5, 6. These don't count because it doesn't have a big G. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so there's 12 that are tall and green. 12 that are tall and green. Now they want to know tall and white. So in order to be tall and white, you need at least one big T and then 2 little G's. Because in order to be white, and it's recessive, you have to have 2 since it's recessive. Okay, so at least one big T, 2 little G's, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then that's it. So there's 0 that are little t, little t. So there's 0 that are short and green and 0 that are short and white. So this is your answer. 12 to 4 to 0 to 0. Okay, so you want to practice that for the next 3. But if you want to go ahead and move to the second worksheet, this one might be better to do next. Because here you practice the genotype and the phenotypes. So this is the genotypes. These are your phenotypes. So based on this table, you need to tell me what the phenotypes are here. And then here, they already put the parents for you. So all you need to do is fill in the squares and then tell me how much of each. So how much are gray out of 16? Gray and black, gray and red, and so forth. Then on the back, you might want to do this one next. They give you parents. So you have to actually make the Punnett square like I showed you. So let's go ahead and do it the happy face version. So can we all see good? Yes? Okay. So little g, big B, eyebrow, eyebrow, little g, little b, nose, little g, big B, and the mouth, little g, little b. Okay. Then the next parents, big G, big B, eyebrow, eyebrow, big G, little b, nose, big G, big B, and then big G, little b. Okay, so there's parent B and then parent A, and now you need to drop in your G's and B's. Just remember to keep your G's together and your B's together and put the big letter first, so it's easier to count that way. Here they give you the genotype. This one is supposed to be little b, little b. It's a typo, so you might want to change that to little b, little b. So you need to read it and tell me based on this genotype, what is the phenotype. You don't have to write it all the way over here unless you want to. And then, so here it's barbed or no barbs. And here it's non-resistant to resistant. So you tell me just the phenotype based on the genotype, based on the word problem. And then based on your vocabulary, what is the parents? And then based on the parents, do the happy face, write your parents, and then do the Punnett square and count. So this one you're going to do on your own. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask me.